You followed us a long way. Why don't you come out and introduce yourselves?
So you're Lyney. And where's your sister? Ain't she? Save us the trouble and go fetch her for us. Let's not drag this out.
Paimon doesn't like the tone of your voice, mister! Who sent you, huh?
Save your questions, missy. You ain't gonna need answers where you're going. Capiche?
Looks like we can't avoid this fight. Now, I'm not the strongest fighter, so I hope you're ready to back me up.
Don't worry, we got this!
I will have order! Solidify!
Here come the fireworks!
Curses. They're tougher than we thought.
Vision wielders are always trouble. Intimidation ain't gonna work like it did on the lady.
Come on, let's scram!
Hurry, wise guys! We ain't through with you yet! Oh, they got away! Did you catch what they said just before they left? Something about intimidating someone else. Sounds like they just wanted to rough us up as a scare tactic, and they've already done it to someone else, but who? You're right. She was injured when we saw her yesterday, and she acted like she had something to hide. Maybe she was too scared to tell us the truth because those guys had threatened her.
Well, if that's the case, let's head back to the cafe and see if we can get any information from her.
Gemma?
You again. What is it this time?
We just ran into the men who've been threatening you, and so you can relax now.
What? Why? I didn't tell you.
Sounds like they're no strangers to you.
That's putting it mildly. It's been 10 long years, and still every time I try to look into Caesar's death, they show up and warn me not to do anything stupid. How do I know I can trust you?
I'm afraid I can't reveal all the details just yet, but I can promise you this. I will expose the Phantom because, you see, this is a personal matter of the utmost importance.
Okay. How can I help you?
I've heard that Caesar used to have a magic workshop where he kept a lot of his personal effects. Do you know where it is?
The Fleuve Sonde. But the place was sealed up by the police after his... I also know that the Fleuve Sonde is dangerous territory.
Understood. Lynette, you stay here and take care of Gemma. Don't let her come to harm.
Got it. But if I'm staying here, I'm ordering dessert.
I mean, bon appetit. But stay sharp, too. They're likely to come for you while I'm away.
Okay. Alright. Power saving mode off. I'll start taking this more seriously now.
Coffee is life.
This coffee smells as
Looks like
good as
no
ever.
more free coffee for me.
Keeps getting more bitter.
Even bedrock can be turned to dust.
Oh, fizzle out.
If Gemma gave us the right location, then the workshop should be right nearby. Huh. Looks like these boxes are blocking... There we go. It should be just down here.
Kamisato Ayaka, present. workshop. Nothing suspicious here, just normal magic props. Let's head in further. What was that? Oh, is this one of Caesar's gadgets? Guess we must have triggered some sort of device.
Stabilize!
And voila!
Whoa. Look, the doll in the box is glowing. There's something written on the card on this doll. Let's take a closer look. These magic boxes are moving. What do we do?
One of them looks different from the rest. Let's investigate.
That's weird. Have we reached the end already? There's nothing here. Maybe this was a wasted trip.
This place seems a little too ordinary for a magician's workshop. There's a distinct lack of mystery. We've triggered quite a few devices on the way here. If so, then there must be more to this place than meets the eye. Maybe a hit... Aha! If I just move this book, then hopefully...
A secret passageway! How did you know?
I'm a magician too, and apparently great minds really do think alike. Looks pretty big inside.
This dance is for you!
Let's get this show on the road!
better guide you. Solidify!
Why have you stopped, Lyney? Is there some device in that box?
Huh. It just looks familiar somehow. Let me check this out for a second while you guys go on ahead. If anyone makes a major
All right, see you in a bit.
The placement of this device inside.
We can't step on the same tile twice. Guess we've got to finish it in one run, huh? peek inside it, shall we?
At one of my shows a few days ago, a child asked me how, as a joke, I told the kid that the hat has a built-in wish-granting machine. So I told them another white lie. The machine needs time to power. I wound up saving very little this month. 2 children came to talk to me after today's Anyway, I told them that it seems like something. Surely he's not upset that I have a good feeling. They have also. They wanted to call me with time. Gemma thinks so. It's nearly time for me to go on tour. I once over. It's only been 10 days. They're very tough. They hide things from me. That's the thing about children. I can sense that they're after thinking things over. P.S. P.P.S. Oh, Caesar.
2 magic geniuses with a father and a mission, huh? Sounds a lot like he was writing about Lyney and... So did they meet Caesar? Lyney?
Shh, hold that thought. As I expected, there's a lot of fishy things going on in this place.
Fishy? Uh-oh, what have you found?
All in good time. Before we go over our new leads, I want... First, the magician slots themselves into a magic box in full view of the audience. At this point, a dummy will fall out of the box. Meanwhile, the real magician, who has by now blended into the crowd, waits for a good moment to make their... Oh no! Is that me? Did I just fall to my death?
Very vivid description. Paimon can really picture it.
The audience's gaze then turns to the magician, and by the time they realize what's... Of course, that's just how I think the process should work, theoretically. The inventor of this trick never performed it successfully. He fell right to the ground from the highest point of the opera house, and no one else has ever attempted this trick since.
So Caesar's famous high-altitude escape has never been done, huh? Paimon was about to say how cool it would have been to see it in person, but... Wait a second. So if a dummy's supposed to drop out of the box, then...
Glad you asked. That brings us to the secret of said box. This box right here is the one that Caesar constructed himself to use. Once the magician's inside, and the box is lifted up into... From where they're standing, they have a clear view of the front. At this point, the magician presses a button inside the box. Oh, he then escapes through this trapdoor onto the opera house roof, waits for the dummy to fall and distract...
That's way simpler than Paimon imagined.
Well, there's a little more to it than that, of course. There's the falling dummy, the miraculous many days and nights of careful research. Caesar was a highly accomplished magician.
So, how did it go so wrong?
I can make a pretty good guess. I looked into the case files. The magic box Caesar was using at the time of his death had the secret button.
Okay.
But here's the strange thing. Most of the devices in this workshop have the mechanism on the left-hand side, including this box right here. Because a magician can't afford to have their most basic habit, but a magician needs to be able to... The essence of magic is getting people to believe. And so, Caesar... But in his most stressful and Exactly. I think that's likely what happened. Caesar would have been under a lot of time pressure during the escape. But I'm sure he was confident. So he opened the compartment, took out the dummy, checked. Much like when you reach for your keys but find your pocket empty, his mind needed a moment to process what was going on. Instinctively, his left hand would keep feeling around for the missing button. Maybe with the stakes being as high as they were, just a 2-second delay cost him everything.
When in reality, someone... But how would
It would have to have been some... Isn't that right, Lorenzo?
You just couldn't let sleeping dogs lie, could? There's not a lot of people who'd go to all this trouble for some magician who died 10 years ago. But I gave you your chance.
You mean Gemma?
Yes, although however stubborn she might be, she was never much of a liability. Which is why you can't leave this place
Do your worst!
his order.
Kamisato out! Sumetsu!
Step right up. A round of applause!
You kids are tougher than you look.
Had enough yet, Lorenzo? Your cronies can't help you now. I think it's high time you started talking, and what I'd really like to know is... why did you...
If I had a mora for every time you said that man's name. He was just an amateur who did cheap tricks for gullible children. I was the one who made magic into the fine art it is today. The aristocrats doffed the...
So it was...
Jealousy. He poured everything into his strength. But the people loved him, didn't they? Oh, how they looked up to him. Amazing. Yeah, so amazing that he was completely broke. Every other apprentice was living it up at their master's expense, but no, not me. I put in all the work, mastered all the skill. He forbade me, and with his reputation in Fontaine, it was too risky for me to go it alone. As long as he was alive, if I died, I had to kill him.
And this was your...
It was reason enough. What other motive would I need?
Well, I was under the...
In love with Gemma.
Guess I was wrong about that then.
I am. Caesar was... I never bought into any of that.
Oh, yeah! Charlotte...
That's just how it looked from the out. I stole cheap things as a way.
So, that's the story, huh?
What choice do I have? So be it.
Very well. In that... Traveler, Paimon, keep an eye on Lorenzo for me. I'll meet you just outside the workshop when I'm back.
Lyney has told me the whole story. Lorenzo, do you confess to the murder of Caesar and to framing him for the Phantom
Look who's finally developed a conscience. What kind of disciple murders their own master? I hope it was worth it.
Looks like it's all over. What should we do next, Lyney? Should we start preparing for your show?
Let's rendezvous with Lynette and...
Good point! Up and away!
Ah, you're back. You were so quick. I've only just finished my third dessert.
Your third? Lynette, come on, we've talked about this. Everything in moderation. You're not gonna have any room left for dinner now.
It's fine. I'll shift to exercise mode and jog off the excess sugar.
That's besides the point. Well, it's done now, but try to eat a more balanced diet in the future.
Point taken.
Did everything go okay?
Of course! Lorenzo was no match for us. The guards are taking him into custody as we speak.
Gosh, that's amazing. I'm sorry, I still didn't know if I could trust you, but I had my suspicions about Lorenzo, but
It's okay, we understand. He did threaten you. Paimon would find it hard to... But you don't need to be scared anymore.
Sorry. My emotions are all over the place right now. I always wanted to report Lorenzo. I was so afraid. Thank you all.
Thank you all for clearing Caesar's name. I never would have guessed that Lorenzo was the real Phantom Weasel. To think that lowlife's been living life to the fullest, at least his soul can finally rest in peace now.
If only I'd realized before it was too late.
Don't blame yourself, Gemma. This isn't your fault.
Yeah, you still have the rest of your life to live. Caesar wouldn't want to see you spending it feeling guilty.
Cheer up, Gemma. My brother's doing a magic show at the Opera House tomorrow evening. Would you like to come along? It might raise your spirits. This show will be a special one. We're holding it in Caesar's honor.
In Caesar's honor? Really? Oh, thank you. I'll be there.
Great. We'll see you tomorrow evening. Traveler, Paimon, don't be late.
Don't worry, we'll be there. No way are we gonna miss out on a free magic show. Wait, Paimon feels like we're forgetting something. Oh yeah, Caesar's diary! We never found out if the two kids Caesar taught magic to were Lyney and Lynette or not. Lyney changed the topic back in the workshop, so we didn't get a chance to bring it up. Oh well, guess we'll just have to ask Lyney tomorrow evening.
The hyper-emotional element you're adding is just
Not this time. My brother's going solo today. So, I'll be watching with you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody's ready because the show is about to begin. The great magician Lyney has prepared a spectacular show for us all tonight, concluding with an all-new grand finale that no audience has ever seen before.
Wow! A new trick!
Thank you all so much for coming. Now, prepare to join me on a journey through the mystical and miraculous.
Exciting stuff, isn't it?
Yes, it's just... It reminds me of him.
No wonder. Caesar was a famous magician too. So, how did you two first meet, Gemma?
Well, I was out on the street once, and I saw him performing for little children. Children love magic, because they're willing to believe in things that can't be rationally explained. Caesar had this amazing way of bringing them into a dreamlike world. And somehow, I felt drawn to him too. So, I went up and asked him to do a trick for me.
Aw, that sounds so romantic. What trick did he do?
It was with a flower. He took it in his hand, snapped his fingers, and it magically appeared on my head. I was so happy that day. No one had ever given me a flower before that.
Oh, that's so cute! Actually, now that you mention it, Lyney's done that one before.
Is that right? Then I suppose he's a romantic at heart, just like Caesar. After all, you never know when the people dearest to you might be gone.
That's right. It's all over now. Paimon doesn't really know how to comfort you, but at the very least, no one's gonna be intimidating you from now on.
Right. Yes, you can breathe easy now, Phantom Weasel.
See? Even Lynette says... Wait, what? The Phantom Weasel? Lorenzo escaped? Where is he?
What do you mean, Phantom Weasel?
As Lyney once said, a performer's job is to commit fully to their role and put on a flawless performance for their audience. But once the bag of tricks is empty and the curtain falls, it's time to end the show. The spotlight is no place for someone with no more cards up their sleeve. It's been 10 years, Gemma. Aren't you tired of the grieving widow act? I think it's time to put an end to it.
What are you talking about? Paimon doesn't like this riddle. Traveler, Paimon doesn't like where this is going. Come on, say something!
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all enjoying the performance so far. There will now be a brief intermission, after which Lyney will perform the most electrifying act of tonight's show, the one we've all been waiting for. The final performance will take place outside of the Opera House, so please make your way outside in a calm and orderly fashion.
The Phantom Weasel never did like public places, did they? Don't worry, this place will be quiet soon. Let's talk somewhere else for now.
Dear me, this is awkward, isn't it? And unfortunately, I'm all out of gadgets, so I'm afraid I can't do any tricks to liven up the mood. This is a big mistake for a magician to make, but thankfully, I do have a backup plan. Now, who wants to hear a story?
Lyney, don't we have more important things to address right now? Lynette accused Gemma of being the real Phantom Weasel a moment ago. Oh, what the heck's going on?
All in good time. Magicians are good at guessing what people are thinking. I know the questions you want to ask. And as it happens, the story I'm about to tell might answer a few of them.
Really? Well then, let's hear it! Paimon's dying of curiosity here!
Let's go back to the very beginning. A decade ago, when the Phantom Weasel was terrorizing the court of Fontaine. She never missed a target, never left a trace, and no treasure was safe from her thieving hands. But as her infamy grew, so did the readiness of the police, and her opportunities to act became ever fewer. Every day she ran the risk of being exposed for who she was. Of course, she could not simply take this lying down, and before long she found her ticket to freedom. She would create a scapegoat, a false weasel to close the chapter on her behalf. After weighing her options, she set her sights on a renowned magician, Caesar. After all, magic and theft shared enough similarities for people to buy the story when the truth came out.
So then what?
Being the master deceiver she was, the weasel easily earned Caesar's trust. Now all that remained was to frame him for her countless crimes. But as she was considering how to make her move, she noticed Caesar's aggrieved pupil, and a new thought entered her mind. Maybe I don't need to get my hands dirty after all. At her encouragement, Lorenzo tampered with Caesar's magic box, causing him to fall to his death. Afterwards, Lorenzo seized his master's property, and the weasel set about tarnishing Caesar's reputation. Two co-conspirators committed the perfect crime.
I've got to hand it to you. You're both exceptional storytellers. It's enough to make even me wonder whether there was really another mastermind behind all this, pulling the strings. But I just have one question. You seem to think that I am the villain in this tale.
Don't worry, Lorenzo said nothing at all. But I never believed that he was the weasel, and in fact, my investigation only made me more certain of that.
How disappointing. So you'd sooner trust Lorenzo than me, even without a shred of evidence?
A magician is an expert at playing the audience to get the result they want. And I have no doubt that you, Gemma, are equally talented in this regard. With a little help from Lorenzo, you put on a very convincing performance. The lovesick fiancé, whose devotion to her betrothed is unshakable, even under threats of violence. Caesar was maligned and hated by all for 10 years, but you? Everyone sympathized with your plight. Who would suspect for 1 second that the lovely young lady always seen weeping in front of Caesar's grave was actually the mastermind behind his demise? No, not that poor lady. Perish the thought.
Wait, so you mean the whole intimidation thing was just a hoax? But why would Lorenzo agree to that? And why didn't he sell her out even at the end instead of admitting to being the weasel himself?
Yes, why indeed? Maybe Gemma herself could enlighten us on that question.
Well, Lyney, if you're so confident in your version of events, then I think the answer should be obvious. Having killed Caesar with his own hands, Lorenzo was plagued by overwhelming guilt. Revealing the Phantom Weasel's true identity would serve no purpose. But if the weasel remained free, then she could take care of Lorenzo's loved ones.
An excellent answer, though sadly a little dull.
Is that right? Well, don't let me bore you. If you'd care to change the topic to something more interesting, I'd be much obliged.
As a matter of fact, there's one thing I'd really like to understand. Why would the real weasel have targeted things that only have value to other people?
Of course. After all, we're just telling stories here, aren't we? If I had to guess, I would say that the real weasel must have had a terrible childhood. Left to fend for herself after her parents died young. Betrayed, scorned, beaten. She'd scrounge waste paper from garbage bins to draw on, using twigs and dirt for lack of ink and pen. She'd sew ugly rag dolls from whatever scrap material she could get her hands on. This was her only source of happiness in life. But it was all she needed, and she was content. Until the world decided that even this was too good for her. Once again, she was betrayed. And this time, everything was taken from her. She felt like life was a miry pit that dragged her further down the more she struggled to escape. At that tender age, she should have been happy. Instead, she stood in the shadows and watched with envy as all good things in the world passed her by. This was a fate too cruel for anyone to bear. I detest the happiness of others, in all its forms alike. I will rob them of everything they hold to be good and true, and it will fill the void in my soul.
That's some pretty heavy stuff.
Now it all makes sense.
Does this story satisfy you, Lyney?
Yes, it is quite to my tastes. Thank you for helping to clear up my confusion.
Huh. That's right! What drove... Because without that, none of this would have ever come to light!
She didn't write the letter.
After 10 long years, I'd hoped that the Phantom Weasel would be consigned to the history books by now. Lyney. Or should I call you the Phantom Copycat now? You were the one who posted that letter outside the Opera House.
Very sharp, Phantom Weasel. Still as shrewd as ever. Well, no need for me to be coy about it. Our goal was to clear Caesar's name. The most straightforward way to change the public's impression of Caesar was to force the Weasel to show themselves.
That's it?
Of course we did. We made it quite clear in the letter, I believe.
10 years ago? Wait... Oh, I get it. You were those two obnoxious kids. He taught you magic back then, didn't he?
We remember all our debts, however great or small. 10 years ago, Caesar's reputation was torn to shreds and hit, but we did not forget.
And? What exactly did you take from me?
Free? Do you really think so? Caesar once told me that even though the world is... I think that applies to you too. Life took many things from you, and those wounds never healed.
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying that for the last 10 years... Back to Lorenzo for a second. He murdered his own master, played along with your... He knew who you were and the things you'd done, and despite that, you're more than just accomplices in murder. You're the only real friends each other has. But that truth is gone now. And I guarantee you.
Congratulations on your freedom, Gemma.
Your freedom will cost you dearly.
Gather round, one and all. The time has now come for the amazing Lyney to perform his final act in tonight's show. I'm sure you're all wondering what he has planned for the grand finale. Well, wonder no more, for the answer is a death-defying high-altitude escape.
A high-altitude escape?
I'm sure you all remember the magician Caesar. This was the very trick that led to his fatal fall, after which he was dubbed the Phantom Weasel. But we have now learned that Caesar was wrongly accused, and that the real Weasel has now confessed to their crimes.
Guess that's my cue to leave. Whew. I've been practicing this one for ages now, but I'm still a little nervous. Traveler, Paimon, I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. There may be a lot of people watching tonight, but you alone are my true witnesses.
Lyney, wait. You two hid a lot from Caesar. You don't have to tell lies to end up isolated and alone.
You're wrong. I'm nothing like you.
So, what do we,
Like Lyney said, when you're ready, let's head outside and watch the show.
But what about Gemma?
She'll figure out what's best for her soon enough. Oh, and if you'd like to see Lyney after the show, you know where he'll be. The usual haunt.
All right. Well, let's go and watch Lyney's finale then.
Magic should be mysterious, surprising, and defy logic. Magic is hard work. Every single movement has to be practiced thousands of times.
It's alright. We're used to that.
We're sorry. You've taught us so much, but we can't tell you the whole truth.
It's okay. Do you still remember what I told you? This world is full of lies and falsehoods. I only hope that one day, you can find your own truth.
What about you? Have you found your truth?
Magic is my truth. I want to perform a magic trick so great that people will always think of me when they talk about it. For a magician, what greater honor could there be?
Look! Behold! Lyney is sealed inside the box. Will he manage to escape? 10 years ago, Caesar attempted this very trick, and it was at this precise moment that...
Lyney! Watch out!
Mysterious. Surprising. And logic-defying. Isn't that right? This honor belongs to you, Caesar. I'm just sorry it's a little late.
Did you see that? 1 minute he was falling, and the next, he turned into flowers.
How could he possibly have done that?
How mysterious. I didn't blink once. He just vanished, right in front of my eyes.
What a heart-stopping magic show. This was really worth the trip. Caesar's name has finally been cleared, and Fontaine's new star magician Lyney has fulfilled a wish on his behalf. Oh, I couldn't ask for a better grand finale. It will make a great headline for the Steambird tomorrow, even if I do say so myself. Whew. Looks like everyone really loved Lyney's grand finale. Paimon doesn't see Lyney anywhere. Where'd he go? Oh, Lynette said he'd be waiting for us at the usual haunt. But, oh, you mean the one where Caesar's buried? Yeah, that's probably it. This whole magic show kinda... Alright, let's go look for him there.
Magic, I was honestly a little... Sometimes, did he regret taking
You know?
After I joined the House of the Hearth, I told you about my past before, but I quickly realized I needed to learn. We were gifted.
So that's why you...
Yes. In all, we only... For instance, but in truth, what amazed me, trust is a...
Lyney...
Still worried about the way I feel? But don't worry, I'm used to it now. From the mansions of the elite to the House of the Hearth, after Caesar went on tour that night, to keep secrets is to... You only realize how much someone really...
Yeah, we've had delicious food. You know, Traveler, doesn't that kind of make...
Exactly. It's the same for me and Lynn. Life has taken plenty from us, like it... That's why the darkness never... Alright. Time to lighten this conversation up a little.
It was amazing! Lyney...
Whoa, that's a bit of a tall order, I'm afraid. The show's just finished, so my sleeves are decidedly card...
Aw, come on!
Oh, alright then. I'll give it a go, but watch closely. I have a flower in my hand.
You liar! There's nothing in your hand!
Huh? My goodness, you're right! But I could have sworn I brought one here with me. Okay, try this. Count down with me. 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Now, have another look around. Maybe the flowers appeared somewhere else.
Really? Let's see. Wow, there it is! Oh, this is a different flower from the last time, right? This one's called, but more importantly, Paimon
Well, if you want to learn magic, you'll have to start by Since you asked...
Is that it?
Look at the time. We shouldn't linger here too long. Thanks again for coming to see my show. I bid you both good night. I look forward to seeing you again.
All right, fine. See ya. Shall we head back down too? Oh, Paimon can't wait to read The Steam Bird tomorrow. Paimon bets Lyney and Caesar will be plastered all over it. Let's head to the Steam Bird's offices tomorrow morning and see what we can find out.
I'm very sorry, Charlotte, but...
Oh, please, Lyney, I'll only take a moment of your time.
Huh? What's happening here?
I spent all night writing my piece about the Phantom Weasel, but just as dawn broke,
That was quick.
Too late, bro.
That was quick, you said. Aha! My instincts did not lead me astray.
Maybe watching my high-altitude escape trick reminded her...
Huh. Okay, then. Wait.
Oh,
I remember now! You and Gemma were in... Quickfire question! Where did...
Oh, we went to this... Actually, glad you...
What? I don't recall ever having received a rainbow rose from you myself. Is this supposed to mean that they're more important to you than your own sister?
No, I just,
What now? Oh,
This is getting pretty... Seems like this interview wasn't meant to be. Well, Never mind. There's always next time. Forgive my persistence, but when they... Apparently, one of the... Alright, I guess I'll leave you to
Lynette? Paimon didn't mean...
Don't worry, I wasn't angry. I was just trying to distract her.
Oh, really? Oh, thank goodness.
Phew. You and me both, Paimon. You and me both.
Please, take good care of that rainbow rose. I'd be really upset if you lost it.
I've never seen anything like it. I simply could not believe it.
It should be fine. I'm sure it'll get resolved.